Hey guys, it's MGTOW Dad, or you can call me Steve-O. I hope everything's going well with you and you're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love. Today I want to talk about MGTOW and how it is the ultimate paradox, but the ultimate privilege at the same time. And before I do that, I want to establish a few things, starting with what is MGTOW? I think a MGTOW is a philosophy, a mindset, or perspective that focuses on the individual masculine male and separating that male from society and societal expectations. I think society itself is our literal, ultimate, and most important tool in the battle against nature and the thing we call survival. Most of us forget that we're not simply living, we're supposed to be surviving, but we've become so adept at surviving that we've kind of forgotten that. Everything in society is about surviving nature at its core. The lessons, genetic, verbal, written, and other forms of knowledge and experiences are all the foundation and substance of society, and the reason behind all of that is so we can survive against nature. And so I always posit that if society is not benefiting us and helping us survive, then is it really worth walking away from at all? And the answer to that, I believe, is no. So let's talk about the paradox of being a MGTOW. You are born of society, your perspectives are formed by society, and you need society. Yes, I use the term need. Again, if society is not worth walking away from, then we're in a lot of trouble. Society is a shield or bulwark against nature and death. Most of us, we don't make our own food, we don't make our own water, we don't make our own gasoline or build our own homes. We depend on others as they depend on others. But back further from today, we depend on those aforementioned lessons, experiences, and the such. Without society, you would not just get it and succeed and live and go out into the wilderness and know what to eat, what not to eat, what to avoid, how to, monitor the weather, all of those things. The bottom line right now is that we have learned that from the society around us. So the paradox of a MGTOW is you're born of what you're trying to walk away from, to separate yourself from, or try to navigate. And without society, you're not really anything but someone who's merely trying to survive. Historically, only small periods of time have really allowed men to walk away from society. Before that, a man on a farm with a wife, raising kids, living and simply wanting to die and give his farm profits and knowledge and experiences and inferred social structures, pass that on to his children so hopefully they can be more successful. That was life. That was it. Because what was the alternative in those times? To leave the farm with your family and go out into what? What could a guy walk away to? Go out to the woods, the mountains, the plains, and what? Live? How would that be better than being with someone or people who collectively look out for you, help you cook, clean, isn't trying to murder you and steal your things, and is actually in the collective acting in your best interest? Why would you want to walk away from that to nothing? I'm not you. Would you rather fight off a bear or coyotes, a mating moose, or a pack of wolves by yourself in the wilderness in the hut that you built by yourself? Or would you rather have more people surrounding you with that hopeful infrastructure, weapons, and with, again, more people around you doing more to help you, as opposed to kicking you out the door to feed the animal and get rid of it? And always remember, you don't have to like the farmer to eat his eggs, meat, or wheat. So there's that. Now, could a man at any point in history arguably live alone and be content? I would argue no, aside from those small slivers of where you had society to walk away from. Because if he was born in the woods and merely existed there, he's not making any conscious choice. He's not making a sacrifice. He's not walking away from anything. He's been put in a spot and now he's living and subsiding, existing. And I would argue that in that situation, he's no better than a tree or a bush because it dropped somewhere, rooted, and went about its life. Again, the tree is not free, it's rooted. But if you are surrounded with people, and while there are benefits to those people, you feel as if you are not the same as them, they don't understand you or care for you at all, there is more hassle in being around them and trying to get the things you need and navigate all of that from society than it is just being away from it. If everything you're told about society and how good it is not true, and the people around you are not the people you thought they were, then sometimes walking away is the best thing. It is better to live free and alone as opposed to living a lie with a bunch of liars. Or at least that's my opinion. Maybe not yours. So now it's on to the privileges of being a MGTOW, and the ultimate privilege is freedom. I have a saying, freedom first, safety second. If you make a decision based on freedom first and foremost, you win. You have the ability to do what you desire, go where you want, say what you say, be with who you want to be with. But the moment you start to take society into consideration, you start to lose your freedoms. You start to give away your freedoms. If you have your own land and are free, you can listen to any song you want, as loud as you want, as long as you want. You can raise any animal you want and be as nice to it as you want, or kill it when you want and how you want. You can dig however you want, where you want, for whatever you want. You can burn down a tree. You can eat things. You can sleep where you want, in a structure if you want to build one. You can fire a gun at what you want, anytime you want. You can build a road anywhere you want, in any form you want, as wide as you want. But the moment you introduce a single person into your life, you compromise that freedom. And I mean that not only in the massive societal aspect, but let's take one individual. The moment you allow one individual into your life, they may not like that song, the guns may be too loud, and they may not want to eat that food. And man, that tree's just their favorite. Can you leave it just this once? And not everything is authoritative and saying you need to do something. Not everything comes down to legalities. But if you care about people, you do start to consider them, and those considerations often come at the expense of you. You need to remember, if society does not have a written law or enacted ordinance about it, there is a social expectation or norm or a familial value that is instituted to dictate your behavior, contrary to what you may want to do for yourself. And again, the key thing is this is not bad. It is just the truth. Anytime you consider another, you compromise your own freedoms. And equally important, there's nothing wrong with giving up for others or compromising for others. But you should not be told you're making a compromise when the government's putting a metaphorical gun to your head or threatening to throw you in jail or ostracize you. That's not freedom. Giving up your freedom, it's not inherently bad. Not having freedom or a choice of what to do with said freedoms, that's the travesty. I give up freedoms for my children, but I do that because I want to. I understand I could not do that and be a worse father, but that's not a compromise I'm willing to make. The flip side is there are a lot of things I do or do not do that society thinks I should not or should do, respectively. That is the ultimate freedom of being a MGTOW. The reasons I'm willing to give up those freedoms for my children is because they're worth it, and I want to instill the notion of sacrifice for my kids. I want them to contribute to a society, make it better and more inclusive for everyone. But I want them to understand the mental weight and the long-term numbing effects that living a life for society brings to you. When society will not do the same for you, it cannot do the same. Society can't ever give what you give to it. It can only pretend to. Society is not about you. It doesn't care about you. And to be honest, it operates just as well without you as an individual. So the privilege, in my opinion, is living free from the expectations of others, but understanding the importance of where you are and how you got there and maintaining that system. There is so much power in not caring and in walking away. But again, the power does not come from simply moving in a direction or simply making some decision. The power is knowing what you are walking away from and the ability to analyze the benefits of walking away, or the ability to assess the degrees at which you are willing to walk away from things or tolerate certain things. But tolerating someone on your own terms is vastly different from being forced to deal with someone or to feel trapped as if you have no other alternative but to sit there and take whatever that person or people or society as a whole is heaping onto you. MGTOW grants you the ultimate privilege of exploring you, what you want, and figuring out where you want to go and where you want to be. This is deep because the questions attached to those privileges are immense. Questions like, why am I making this decision? Where is the desire to do this born from? Is this something I want or something I think I should want? How come this and not that? Is there another alternative? Why do I want to go to A but not B? And is there a C that I'm not even visualizing? Why is it that I view this thing this way? And most importantly, is this something I really should be doing? Doing something for someone or because someone said to do it on its face is not necessarily or inherently a bad thing. If dad told you not to do drugs and you didn't, but then you actually thought about it one day because you were offered drugs and decided not to do drugs, not because you were scared of getting grounded, but because you weighed the consequences, the pros and cons, decided it wasn't for you, the second decision is more important than the former because the other, you were just doing what you were told, arguably mindlessly. The second, the lesson is there. The substance is there. The reasoning is there and the logic is there. If someone tells me, I always, when you're driving, look both ways while going through an intersection, I may be doing it thoughtlessly for years because someone told me to, maybe my driving instructor. But the one day I witness an accident because someone did not do that, the entire frame of reference changes. Yet your knowledge was born initially of the mindless following of instructions of society. Again, the privilege of being a MGTOW is that you realize not only is society worth walking away from, but you should hopefully realize you are worth focusing on yourself. You are worth the money you'd normally spend on other people. The focus you spend on others can work wonders if you decide to positively and honestly spend it on improving yourself. And you may find that certain things, people, or aspects of society you enjoy or are willing to tolerate. The ultimate freedom is MGTOW. It's the ability to navigate life and society with your eyes and your mind wide open and see it for what it is, and then at the end, do what's best for you. Part of that freedom is knowing and willingly separating yourself from society, that same society that will strip you, skin you, cook you, eat you, and throw you out with the rest. And you can separate and process all of this because you know that same society will ridicule you, ostracize you, banish you, or burn you at the stake if you don't let it strip you, skin you, cook you, eat you, and throw you out with the rest. That's society. That's MGTOW. Go easy, gents, and go MGTOW.